Welcome to the Scary Show, the home of grunge storytelling. In the bustling heart of the city, amidst the cacophony of honking horns and hurried footsteps, there was a small, unremarkable shop squeezed between towering skyscrapers. Mark had walked past it countless times without a second glance, but today, something compelled him to enter. The shop's doorbell chimed softly, barely audible over the street noise. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of aged paper and dust. Shelves crammed with old books and trinkets lined the walls, casting long, eerie shadows. Behind the counter stood a man in an immaculate suit, his face strangely ageless, his eyes uncomfortably intense. "Welcome," he said, his voice smooth yet unsettling. "Looking for something special?" Mark wasn't sure why he was there. "Just browsing," he mumbled. The man's smile was thin and sharp. "I think I have just the thing for you." He produced a small, ornate box from beneath the counter and placed it gently in front of Mark. It was intricately carved, depicting scenes of twisted figures and unearthly landscapes. "Open it," the man urged. Despite a growing sense of unease, Mark lifted the lid. Inside was a tiny, beautifully detailed model of a city. It looked eerily familiar. As he peered closer, he realized it was an exact replica of the very city he stood in. "How?" Mark began, but the man interrupted, his voice now a whisper. "Watch." The tiny city streets were bustling with miniature people, all moving in perfect harmony with the sounds outside the shop. Mark's breath caught in his throat as he spotted a tiny figure that looked exactly like himself, standing in front of a miniature version of the shop. The figure moved, mirroring his every action. Mark waved his hand, and the tiny Mark waved back. He felt a cold sweat break out on his forehead. This was no ordinary model. Suddenly, the tiny Mark turned and started running. In the model, a shadowy figure emerged from the miniature shop, chasing after him. Outside the city, noise seemed to grow louder, more chaotic. Mark's heart pounded in his chest as he watched the chase unfold. He glanced up at the shopkeeper, whose smile had faded, replaced with a look of dark satisfaction. "What is this?" Mark demanded, his voice trembling. The man leaned closer, his eyes gleaming. "Your fate," he said simply. Mark's gaze snapped back to the model. The shadowy figure had caught up to the tiny version of him. He watched in horror as it enveloped the miniature Mark, swallowing him whole. A sharp, unbearable pain shot through Mark's body. He collapsed, clutching his chest. The city's noise, a deafening roar in his ears. As his vision darkened, he heard the shopkeeper's voice one last time, calm and distant. "Welcome to the collection." Tonight's Scary was written by Scary. If you enjoy the stories you find here, hit the like button. Think of it like applause at the end of a show. Please subscribe and click the top bell for all notifications so that you never miss an episode. And if you wouldn't mind, share this video so that others can discover The Scary Show. Questions, comments, suggestions? Let me know down below. The Scary Show always answers the fans, unless YouTube hides your comments from me.